We welcome you to this afternoon's dedication ceremony of the newly renovated and renamed Panettiere President's Residence on behalf of all of us on the board and President Conde and his family. I know many of you have enjoyed past presidents' hospitality in this residence, and it's always been a lovely place to visit. But let me tell you, if today is your first visit to the house, since it's been renovated, you're in for a treat. You won't believe all the wonderful improvements that have been made. It's truly a showcase for our college, and so we welcome you and look forward to you taking a tour. As some of you know, I had the privilege of being chair of the Presidential Search Committee that recommended President Conde as the 21st president of the institution we all love. My vice chair on the committee, standing in the back, Warren Erdman. At that time, I said the new president relates well to all people of all backgrounds. With his combination of a liberal arts and business background, he'll provide the clear-cut direction and vision we need to take Westminster to the next level. I said that then, and I guess I love it when I'm right. Over the last 7 months, President Conde has more than lived up to those expectations. He brings a level of energy and charisma into every room he enters, and the dynamic way he talks to you can't help but get you excited about the future of Westminster. He's filled with bold new ideas to make Westminster a national leader in education. He has an overall vision for where we are going and how we are going to get there. It's my privilege to present our president, Dr. Benjamin Ola Akande.
Thank you, Al, and good afternoon to you all. It's good to have you here. We even ordered the weather. There was some conversation with the good man upstairs over the last couple of days, and we want to believe that he's a member of the Blue Jay Nation as well. It's nice to have all of you here to celebrate this milestone for Westminster College and for my family. In the movie The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy encapsulates the importance of home. In spite of all her amazing adventures, the beautiful places that she saw, and the marvelous people along the way on her journey to Oz, it made it succinctly clear, and she said this over and over again, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. These past few months have been a whirlwind of meetings and travel and engaging with the Blue Jay Nation, which I have thoroughly enjoyed. In fact, I thrived on it. And I realized that the fast-paced life for the presidency will continue because we are on a fast track to make Westminster one of the premier colleges in the United States. But at the end of the day, to be able to settle in with Bola and the girls in this breathtaking residence is indeed a pleasure. And once all the construction and all the dust had settled, we were able to move in, bring in our furnishings from St. Louis, add our artwork. You need to check that out while you're here. You know, I'm really proud of the artwork, so make sure you check it out. And the most provocative ones are Bola's, okay? Just want to make sure we make that very clear, okay? It's all Bola's. And essentially, now that the house has become a home, with such a beautiful new residence to showcase, it will be only natural to want to share this hospitality with members of the Westminster family. We have already hosted open house functions, staff and faculty parties. The entire Greek student body at Westminster College were here. And we partied together for a couple of hours a couple of months ago. And we had a reception for them. It was fun. And we've also had gatherings for a number of Westminster student groups. And just last week, we welcomed the men and women's soccer teams, this year's SLAC champions, to the house. And this is just the beginning. And along with being our home, we intend to make this residence a place of joyful gatherings for all who love and who cherish Westminster College. And, you know, of course, this remarkable transformation would never have been possible if not for the few generous individuals who not only came forward in recognition that after 9 previous residents, the president's home needed an exciting new look to accompany an enthusiastic new president. an exciting new era in Westminster's history. These names will certainly be familiar to all of you who love Westminster. Time and time again, these dedicated souls have stepped up to lead whenever their college is called upon them. John and Wendy Panettiere, Bill and Catherine Felder, Jim and Sharon Harrod, Bill and Chris Daniels, and Ron and Diane Winnie. We're so grateful that they made this transformation a reality. And on behalf of the entire Westminster family, we say thank you. But then, John and Wendy Panettiere deserve special recognition, for they were the driving force behind this renovation in the first place. It was John and Wendy who have had a long and impressive history of giving back to their college, and they are members of the Leadership Society, having contributed more than $1 million to the college. They were significantly involved in the campaign to build the Mueller Leadership Hall, and are strong supporters of Westminster Fund and the National Churchill Museum. They played a major role in the renovation of the Phi Delta Theta House. All three of their sons, Andrew, Brian, and Chris, attended Westminster. John is a trustee emeritus and a member of the True Blue Giving Society, and he received the Lifetime Alumni Achievement Award in 1982. Equally important, John, who would not even have been able to attend Westminster if he had not qualified for a government scholarship following his father's tragic death at Guadalcanal during World War II, had made it a priority to see that other young people who are not able to provide financial capacity are not deprived of a Westminster education. When you hear the story of John Panettiere, and you hear where he's come from and how far he's come and what he's been able to do in that process, and yet he continues to reach back and bring others with him, enabling them, supporting them, ensuring that nobody is left behind. I am moved by his generosity. I am emboldened by his capacity to continue to give and to give to this institution. It is the likes of John Panettiere and Wendy that this institution is going to be able to go from success to significance. And we thank him. The Panettiere Family Foundation has also established a scholarship that was established in 2004. And they continue to make the Westminster educational experience possible for so many young people who might not have been able to attend this institution. And his son, Chris, is certainly following in his father's footsteps in terms of his support of Westminster. We are pleased to have Chris as a member of the Board of Trustees and also the chairman of the Marketing and Communication Committee of the board. And so today it is indeed a privilege and an honor to ask an outstanding alumni to come out here and to share with us why he's done what he's done, to congratulate him as we officially cut the ribbons and allow you good people to see what a showplace this residence has become. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me give a very warm Westminster welcome to our good friend and loyal Westminster alumni, John Panettiere.
I didn't know I really did all that. But thank you, Dr. Condi. Those were extremely moving words. Wendy and I are delighted to be here today with our son, Chris, who's on the board, been on the board for almost 6 years. And to come here and view what can happen when concerned alumni are approached and asked to deliver a hand in restoring to its original beauty this wonderful old house. 5 of us did answer that plea. As a matter of fact, when Barney Forsythe called me and said, I need some money to renovate the house, knowing full well that he'd already announced his retirement and he was leaving. And it was one of the more expensive telephone calls I've ever accepted in my whole life. But it was unbelievable to see, because I had stayed here a number of times, and I fully recognize the need for this to happen, as do many of our alumni recognize the needs for the things that need to happen here at this college. This renovation is a start of what can happen when people get behind an idea. In 5 short months, this became a beautiful, wonderful place that we're proud to bring people to as they come to Westminster College. You know, as alumni, we do take pride in our college and in making demonstrative changes for the benefit of the students, the administration, and the faculty, and our friends, which will help us ensure the success of us remaining a top 5% college in the United States. And that is an exalted position that we now command. We have to show the world that we are financially viable so that we can attract the best and the brightest students. Westminster College has a long and storied history. When I came back here in the mid-50s, this was called, the Westminster was the Harvard of the Middle West. This was a place where when you went into pre-med and you went through the program here, Dr. Cameron Day would write you a letter and you could get into any med school in the United States immediately. That was the kind of reputation that we had. But like a number of other colleges and universities in the United States, we are currently faced with some very daunting challenges. With the retirement of Barney and Jane Forsythe, our board of trustees formed a search committee headed by Hal Oakley. After an extensive and demanding search, the candidate with the most outstanding qualifications, who was unfazed by the tasks ahead, was Dr. Benjamin Ola Akande and his lovely wife, Bola. Although I was not a part of the search committee, as timid as I am, as you know, I did let my feelings known to a number of people as to what we were looking for in a new president. And Benjamin Ola Akande certainly typifies exactly what we need and what we must have in order for us to further improve this college. I met Dr. Akande for the first time at my home in LA. That stands for Lower Alabama. He and Bill Sheelan ventured down south for lunch. Another one of those expensive lunches, I might add. We had a conversation that lasted 3.5 hours. I must tell you that I was bowled over. I couldn't believe that in 120 days, this man had such a command of exactly what was going on in this college. Yes, many of us knew a lot of things about the college for the course of the last few years, but we had no idea as to the breadth and depth of some of the problems that were facing this college. And this man knew exactly what he was doing. We went through 5 initiatives that he had outlined, and I was absolutely bowled over because he had a plan already. But one thing he didn't have was the money to implement these programs. You know, I go to Africa, I used to go to Africa until I got too old, about every other year. I took Wendy with me and we went on 8 safaris. I have a trophy room that has over 160 mounted animals, including lions, leopards, elephants, you name it. But never in my whole life was I ever going to Africa and asked to hunt these wild and dangerous animals, but not given any ammunition. And that's what we did with Dr. Akande. We told him what a great school, the wonderful place it is, the great people we have here, and we would try and help him, and they have tried to help him. We talk about his assessment of the college and its current situation. After he finished his talk, if you can believe it, I was speechless. I couldn't believe that he had that much knowledge already. And he outlined a program of things that needed to begin and become implemented in the next 2 years. Things that have to happen. This is not something we can just stand by and discuss. These are things we've got to do if we're going to be able to come to an alumni weekend in the year 2018. We have to do these things. Now, we all realize that the economic times have been less than rewarding during the early part of this year. But I'd like to remind all of you big givers that the stock market has gone up 2,600 points since the 9th of February. We've had a lot of comeback sauce. Maybe not enough for everybody, but believe me, there's been a lot of comeback sauce. And now, economic times, I believe, are probably better now than they were at least a year ago. Although they have improved greatly, the Westminster Fund has not yet reached its initial goal and needs help immediately. Now, we need our trustees, our alumni, and our friends to come forward and give Dr. Akande the ammunition with which to face these daunting issues that he has so skillfully outlined and identified of what must be done. These things must be done in order for the college to return to financial equilibrium in order for us to forge ahead successfully. We can't expect outstanding results without giving the college the financial backing in order to effect these positive changes. We wanted a change agent, and we got one. You know, Vince Lombardi once said, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. And that's exactly what Benjamin Akande is doing. He is saying, I'm not going to give up on this thing. We're going to get it done, and we'll make it happen. After his meeting with Wendy and I, and Wendy, I think to say, was bowled over by his commentary. She listened intently while he and I talked for about 3.5 hours. I volunteered to do whatever I could to help, even though I was a retired old poop and trustee emeritus, which is kind of like a bull that's no longer necessary. We talked about what we could do in order to act as a catalyst to get people to step forward and start helping the college do what they needed to do right now. He has the need and the inclination and the motivation to do these things, and now we've got to give him the monies necessary. And I could go into a long litany of the problems of past due, things that need to be repaired and renovated and replaced, getting the staff, giving them the proper kinds of compensation and pensions, of bringing in the best teachers that money can buy so that we continue to maintain our academic excellence. But those are things we'll talk about in the future. But a group of concerned alumni and trustees, in concert with Dr. Akande, have formed a new group called the Chancellor's Circle. Each of us are currently right now going to pledge to give to the college over the course of the next 19 months $500,000 each. The only restrictions will be that Dr. Akande cannot leave Fulton with the money. Other than that, it is unrestricted funds to be used for the implementation of the Westminster initiatives, which he has so already well detailed to the trustees and to friends of the college. And I think that you'll see that not only do we have 4 men already that have stepped forward, and we'll be passing out a description of this program in just a few moments, but let me give you just a little bit of information about it. Because being a member of this is a lifetime project. It's good for a lifetime. They will get exclusive personal updates and insight from the president delivered to them on a quarterly basis. They'll have a seat at the table of the college annual strategic planning session, participation in yearly gatherings of fellow influentials at a prominent location in order to engage top level. They're each going to get a nice, fancy blue blazer emblazoned with the crest of Westminster College on the pocket. They're going to have a distinctive lapel pin, not made in China or Guatemala or someplace like that. It'll actually be made by Americans in America. Sorry, Benjamin. Their name will be engraved on the Westminster College Leadership Legacy Monument. A lot of other things that they'll be invited to, but they will be his vest pocket advisors for the future. We can do these things together. The details we're going to pass out in a little piece here very shortly. But we wanted you to know today that we're kicking this thing off immediately. This is not a forever project. This is a now project. We've got to act now. We've got to do things now. The time for talking about maybe we ought to and could we ought to and should we ought to has long passed. This is time for serious action, and serious people will step up to it, as I know they will. The 4 men who have thus far made their pledge, not in writing, we don't need that, we just need a handshake, are Rob Price, Bill Felder, Jack Bomstack, and John Panettiere. Would you 4 fellows please come up here for just a moment? Benjamin, on behalf of the 4 of us, we would like to present you with $2 million. The first payments are here today, all in checks. They won't bounce. And it's our pleasure to give this to you. Okay. Are we going to pass these out?
Yes, I think they're passing it out right now.
Okay.
Are we passing out the information? Yes, it is being passed out right
Being
now.
passed out right now. Very good, very good. All right, thank you. I'm done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sir.
I don't know what to say. But let me express my gratitude to John, to Jack, to Rob, and to Bill for their totality of commitment to Westminster College and to the future of this great institution. I want to appeal to every single one of you here that this is an opportunity for you to join us in this journey that will enable us to go from success to significance. I have been particularly impressed with the caliber of the alumni of this institution. The education that you received here has enabled you to do some wonderful things. And success has found you as you have found success. And I am hopeful that in the next couple of days we will be adding new members to this Chancellor Circle. And on behalf of Bola and myself and our daughters Moyo and Jola and Rennie, I just want to thank you. The best days of this institution is ahead of us. Stay tuned. Keep watching. We're going to do some things here. And again, thank you. Thank you so much, John. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you all. Now, we want to invite you all to come on in. Come on into the house. Let's have some drinks. Let's eat some food. We got a lot of celebration to do. But before I end, let me say this. I want to give a shout out to Gina. Gina, where are you? Gina, get up and be, this lady here made this day possible. Gina, she got it all done, flawless as usual. I want to thank you for your leadership, and I want to thank you for your commitment. Also want to recognize Sarah Mons. Is Sarah here? Sarah, I want to thank you for just a remarkable alumni weekend. Remarkable alumni weekend. Remarkable alumni weekend. And the leader of the team of Advancement Alumni has played a really critical role in making this also a reality. I want to recognize publicly at this time and to thank him for all his work on behalf of your college. Please help me give a hand of appreciation to Bill Sheehan over there. Let's go party, guys.